Hello and welcome everyone to Getting Started with CWP Snippets. I'm Ron Glenn Cates of RGC Data. Our flagship product is a WordPress plugin called CWP Snippets that facilitates connecting a FileMaker database to a WordPress website. Today we're going to be looking at downloading, installing, and connecting your first database with CWP Snippets. So let's dive right in. So the first thing you're going to need to do is make sure that you have all the requirements to be able to connect using the Data API. The FileMaker Data API requires that you have a FileMaker database hosted on a FileMaker server, and it must be server v17 or greater, and it also must have a valid SSL certificate installed, and then you need to have a FileMaker database with a FileMaker account with the FM REST extended privilege set enabled. Now for that last one, we've got you covered because we've got, and CWP Snippets ships with a sample database that's got the user account already set and the extended privilege is there, and we'll take a look at that when we get to that point. So first of all, to get the CWP Snippets plugin, you'll need to go to you can go to RGC Data, and if you scroll about midway down, you'll see that we have a section about CWP Snippets, and you can click from there. And what that will do is take you directly to the CWP Snippets website. So you can just go directly to cwpsnippets.com if you prefer to do that. We've got lots of information there that you can read up and learn about the plugin. But in order to get the plugin, currently it is not available in the WordPress repository as of the recording in this video. So you'll have to go to our download page. And you just fill out the form and submit, and a download link will be emailed to you where you can just click and download the plugin directly to your local computer. Now, I've already done that, so I have the plugin right here on my desktop, so I'm ready to go. Now we're going to bring up our WordPress website, and for that we're using WP Local, which is a nice little system that allows you to spin up any number of WordPress websites on your local computer. And we like to use that for spinning up development copies and doing testing and things like that. It's also a great way to have a playground to play where you can install the plugin, connect your database, and just experiment and see what the plugin is capable of and how to use it. So if we go to plugins, install plugins, upload a plugin, and we're just going to go ahead to our desktop and select our plugin to install. And then activate the plugin, and that's all there is to it. The CWP Snippets plugin is now installed on our WordPress website. So the next step is to set up your settings. And CWP Snippets comes with your settings is where you would set your host database and your user account credentials. But we also have a demo setup. So in CWP Snippets, we have like a sandbox environment that you can use to test and play. And that comes with a demo database, which is right here. So if you just click here, you can download the demo database and save it to your desktop. Then what you're going to do is you're going to open the database on your desktop. And to get the credentials, all you have to do is click right here at the demo settings, and you can see what the credentials are for the full access user account is admin and admin123. So we'll just come right in here and do admin and admin123. And sign in now that we've got our database open. So here's where I wanted to show you. If we go to the manage security, we take a look at our API user account. Now we have a separate API account for accessing with the Data API, and the reason that that's recommended is so that you can tailor your security access to provide just what's needed for the web, and gives you better control over that access by having a single user account that accesses the web. And if we go to extended privileges, go to privilege sets, open that up, and we go to extended privileges, and we scroll down. We can see we have access via FileMaker Data API FM REST is enabled, and that's all you really need to do to that account on in the database. Now that's already done with the demo database, and of course the other thing that's needed is that account will have to have access to all of the layouts and records that you want to make available on the web. So the next thing that we would do is we would upload that by going to sharing and upload to host. And when we upload, just like any other FileMaker database that we upload to a FileMaker host. Now I've already got the demo database on our server, so I'm not going to re-upload it. So I'm just going to go over here to my recently opened, and open the demo database so that we can have a look at it while we're working with it. Again, full access account is admin 123, and there's my demo database. So at this point, with the demo database downloaded and then uploaded to your FileMaker server, you should be ready to connect. And all you have to do is point to your host domain or IP address of your FileMaker server, and as we can see in the demo settings, our database name is CWP Snippets, the default layout is contact details, and the username is API and API123. You do not want to use the admin user account for accessing through the data API. That's your full access account for opening up in FileMaker. But this is the account that you want to use for the actual setup here. So when we go and we do that, we hit submit, which I'd already done, it was already submitted, but you do get a message, connection successful. So you'll find out right away if you're able to successfully connect to your FileMaker database. Once you've got your demo setup done, then you can actually go right to the snippets, and CWP Snippets comes preloaded with a bunch of template snippets that are already configured to connect to that demo database. And these are essentially all the functions that are used to be able to connect to the database through the CWP Snippets FMCWP object-oriented class that manages those connections to your FileMaker server. So as you can see, we have things like create record, delete record, duplicate record, and so on. So if we take a look at one of these snippets and we go to get record, for instance, and we click edit, this shows you the custom web publishing environment. And this is essentially a snippet plugin that allows you to write your own PHP, HTML, JavaScript, and CSS into your WordPress website, and it gets injected into your pages through the use of shortcodes. But we also have a preview mode here in CWP Snippets, so that when I'm looking at a snippet like get record, I can just click preview, and that's going to bring up a connection, a preview of that snippet. And as we can see, that snippet says success okay, so that means it has connected and pulled the data from the FileMaker database. And this is what your data looks like. This is what's being returned from your FileMaker database. As you can see, it's being returned as a PHP array. And from here, we can start to pull the data that we need from our connection and build our pages from that connection. So that's the first place to start when you come to CWP Snippets. One of the other things that we have preloaded in CWP Snippets is a few sample snippets to show the functionality and kind of roadmap some of the ways to develop with PHP to connect to your database. The contact list, if we hit preview, we're going to see that that brings up a list of contacts, and that list of contacts is being pulled directly from our demo database. And note that our demo database is simply a modified version of the FileMaker contact database that is shipped with FileMaker Pro. However, it didn't take a whole lot of modification to be able to get this to work with the data API. So there's not a whole lot of moving parts involved. We just need to make a connection and then pull back our data, and then what we do with our data on the web page is up to us. So as a quick demo, as we can see, we can go to the details, and that shows me the record that I was just looking at. And I can also click edit, and when I come here, I can actually come edit the information. And when I hit save contact, as you can see, it has edited the information directly into the sample database. So lots of stuff to play with there. And take a look and see how CWP Snippets works. You can explore the templates, and then when you're ready to actually create your own snippet, the way to do that would be, say I wanted to create a snippet that pulls up a list of records. I'd come into Edit Snippets, copy, go back to Snippets and create a new snippet, and give it a name. Let's call it Find Contacts. And then I could paste that snippet in there, and that gives me a starting point for creating that find. The thing to keep in mind is that when connecting to the demo database, this is the indicator right here. Once you go to settings and you've connected your own database, then you would remove demo to connect to the production database. And then you can start working with your own database and pulling data directly from your own database and your own layouts. So this just provides you a template to start with to be able to make those connections and get started with CWP Snippets. In future videos, we will have demonstrations on how to write your own snippets and how to make the best of some of the things that we provide with CWP Snippets. We have an add-on library that you can explore at CWP Snippets, where we provide a number of pre-written snippets that are available for download and that you can import directly into your CWP Snippets. But for now, that's installing and setting up CWP Snippets. We'll see you next time.